Hey guys, Adam from Hotshot Cosplay here. I got my buddy Ben with me. He's the brains behind the Iron Man suit. We just wanted to give you a quick tech demo, show you what this suit does and how we did it while we're in the middle of some repairs and upgrades. So, start off with the helmet, completely wireless, and talks to the suit and controls all the servos and stuff. So, you guys have seen this a million times. Close helmet. Nope, didn't want to hear. Close helmet.
There we go. So the reason why there's a delay there is that he's basically, there's a voice module in the chin. So that's, well, we got the live voltage readout here. But just below that, this little guy's a voice module that we ended up sourcing like 2 or 3 weeks before the con, and magically we were able to make it work. Actually you can pop off the helmet right now, and we'll just kind of go over a little bit of the tech in the helmet. The voice module is talking to an Arduino compatible board called a Teensy3. So I kind of got a bunch of nasty wiring stuff going on back there, but we got a Teensy kind of hanging out below that kind of mess of wires. And then these guys are some Trustfire lithium kind of rechargeable batteries that I kind of 3D printed and made some kind of basically a case for them that I can put into the helmet. That is a 5-volt regulator, and so it takes the voltage from the batteries and just gets it down to 5 volts, which is what everything in the helmet runs on. From there, we have this little glowing light here. That's just a servo module. Not a servo. That is a relay module that we're using to control, kind of to turn on and off the power to one of these servos. So just like on X Robots, we kind of used some of the kind of his design ideas in there, and modified one of the servos to make sure that when the helmet opens, it doesn't end up buzzing, because that's one of the problems with servos, is that you just have a nasty humming sound if it's under load. And then we also used kind of a variation of his Bowden kind of cable technique here to be able to get some kind of heavy-duty fishing line running from the hinge on the top, kind of down to where the pulleys are attached to the servos. Except that we kind of again, different from his design, is that one of the Bowden cables goes all the way to the chin. So the chin itself, it's nice and taut right now, because it actually is using, I guess, kind of some of that. It's a little bit hard to see, but right in there, kind of there's the base of the Bowden cable. Ends up being able to kind of let the jaw drop and then just pulls it back up. And very similar to this is that this thing pulls it up with a pulley from the servo and then drops it. So in addition to this stuff, so the Teensy is doing the control, it also has this little wireless module. So this is a Synapse module. It kind of operates in the 2.4 gigahertz range. And it has the ability to set up a mesh network. So we're really just using it as a serial link right now. But it allows kind of this to be able to talk to all of the equipment in the suit. And one other thing you'll actually see here is some little tiny speakers that I ended up popping into the kind of into the earlobes. And those are actually speakers that you would use in a 3DS. And they are attached to the voice system that's found in the chin. And so whenever so the microphone in there, whenever it actually gets some sort of a command to tell it to do something, we programmed it so that it would give him feedback, and I was able to make some voice clips that made it sound like it was Jarvis. So all of the commands right now are done through the helmet, talking to the electronics in the suit. So with the electronics in the suit, we have a pretty massive battery pack. It's a big lithium pack that goes in the back here. 3D printed a couple brackets for it to just kind of slide right into. And then it has some power that it would attach to, and then a whole bunch of cables. And so he's got some steel plates kind of going down the back that he kind of uses for mounting. And I've basically put a bunch of servos in here. So we got two servos, and then another 2 servos that are kind of controlling all of the things that move on the back and on the shoulders. So you got the rockets, or these little gun things on the shoulders here, and then on the back you have the actual boosters. So again, there's another 5-volt regulator here to be able to manage all of the voltage for the servo operation. But and then I have the power coming out of here, and then it's just got a cable going to all the electronics that are in the chest piece. But then also for all of the servo controls, because none of the servo logic is done in the back plane here, we have I just basically have a kind of another cable, an interface cable that I made that is kind of bringing all of the servo controls and some of the lights, because I got some RGB LEDs inside of the back, the rockets and the boosters in the back here. And so everything goes into the middle. And so this, like where the arc reactor is behind the kind of, that glowing triangular faceplate, is kind of a big mess of some interface boards. So because I'm controlling quite a few servos all at once, I'm using an Arduino Mega. So kind of pretty, it wasn't, because I was adding and removing so many things here, it's not quite the nicest kind of soldering job. But I have kind of the Arduino Mega with an interface board that kind of does it does the servo controls, it does the RGB LEDs, it has all the connections to the hands on both sides, and just generally controls the majority of the logic of the system. So there is the kind of, I guess the adjacent, or the kind of the node that connects to the node in the helmet. And so if you was to execute a command from the helmet,
attack. Gets a little camera shy. Close helmet. Attack.
So you're going to see a flash, and then there's a delay, and then there's another flash. And then, so kind of all of that, like it basically sends a command from the helmet to the Arduino here, and the Arduino just interprets it and does it however, it basically does whatever the logic that we programmed it to do. So over here, just a little bit of the kind of just another board with a bunch of wires that kind of provides a couple of MOSFETs that provide the kind of power management for the lights, kind of both in the hands and in the chest piece here, and it's all mounted to kind of a nice big kind of steel plate that you just kind of get from Home Depot, and I ended up kind of using this entire plate as a heat sink, because if these things, turn them on to full brightness, they are ridiculously hot. And they're so bright you can't really look at them. All right, we're going to move on to kind of the wrists as well, or the hands rather. And so these LEDs that you see here, we just kind of ordered them from somewhere in China. I got one of them in each one of the palms, and all of these are kind of 3D printed, as you probably saw from some of the other stuff that Adam has been posting. So besides just kind of the positive and negative coming to this LED here, we kind of have another kind of set of wires coming in to control a bank of LEDs in a very similar fashion to what James from X Robots also had made, where we have a kind of a magnet sensor that ends up kind of sensing when the wrist is kind of sliding up or down.
There's a couple of magnets right in there that you might not be able to see.
Yeah, so there's a couple magnets, and basically as they kind of slide over the read switch, I think, then you actually, that's what the effect is when you actually open and close it. So that's, we didn't end up using the microcontroller for logic for that, mostly because it's basically just it's a high or a low that you just pop to a MOSFET, and then you can get your on and off. That is the majority of the technology that you actually kind of see here. It's all very dirty compared to what I would like to see, but it works, and it was great kind of phase one.
Phase 2 is going to be real cool. We're going to lighten up this body, make it a little cleaner, a little more functional. And then Phase 2, we're going to incorporate a cleaner computer system into it, and with a little more emphasis on mobility. So it's actually going to be a lot more user-friendly when we wear it.
Do it live? All right, so I'm just going to hold this up for a second. So I'll have Adam turn the suit on. Okay, so you might have heard that. That kind of was the confirmation that the whole device is booting. And now it just automatically sets up a wireless link between the helmet and the body. And it looks like I have no power to the body yet. All right, so here's Adam with just the basically the back piece and the chest and the helmet on. It only took about 2 minutes. Supposedly the whole thing takes about an hour. So that's, I do not, you know, yeah, I would not be excited to have to go through that.
It's not too fun. It's not as quick as the movie makes it look.
No, that's all magic. So with the helmet closed, I'll just have you execute a few things. Maybe can you try to do the shoulder guns?
Yeah, sure. Guns.
Yeah, so basically I have some RGB LEDs in the shoulder that just basically they kind of using pulse width modulation from the chest piece. I end up turning them on once it gets a serial signal from the helmet down to the Arduino in the chest. Same thing with the back here. I think one of the servos is out of place, but we'd still probably be able to get, like if you were to do flight test mode maybe?
Right.
Do it.
Foxtrot. Foxtrot.
So, as you can see, stuff is kind of popping out here. But these are kind of, basically these servos, we just use some shitty hot glue and hot glue them to the side here, or on the inside. And then for these ones down here, because of how these flaps just kind of hang out, we ended up actually installing magnets in the tops of these boosters. And so that's how those ones work. The final one here is the attack sequence. So, go.
Attack. Attack. Attack.
So there would be the other palm, and then there's the center. So it's like, again, it's all being controlled by the helmet. It just sends a command, and then we just let it go.
Alright, so I just finished editing the video. Gonna tack this on to the end. But while I was doing this, I realized we are horrible filmmakers. So, if you are an amateur filmmaker or a professional who wants to donate their time in the Calgary area, shoot me a message. We're Hotshot Cosplay on everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Gmail. Fuck Twitter. Nobody uses that shit, right? Anyways, we're not just done now. We have other things on the go. So we have the Destiny Titan cosplay coming through. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff with that. I can't really say too much about it yet because we're still kind of playing with ideas. But with that game being as cool as it is, there is no shortage of cool things we can do with it. Yes, I'm saying cool a lot because it's really cool. So, follow that project. Also doing commission work. You want something? Shoot me a message, let me know. I'm working mostly with small stuff, so guns, helmets, shields, swords, that sort of things. No full builds. But shoot me a message, let me know what you want. If I can do it, I'll do it. That's pretty much it for now. Thanks for watching and sticking through with this project. And yeah, we will see you when we start phase 2 this summer. Have a good one, guys.